Welcome everybody to the Gold Split, hosted by Daddy Peanut 3D, better known as Peanut. I am here with Oats and Goats, one of the preeminent Super Metroid runners of the speedrunning community. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I am doing just fine. If looks like you're practicing a little bit, we'll just get right into it. I know you want to stream, so we'll get right to the point.
Yep.
So first up, what everybody always wants to know about a speedrunner is how did they get into it?
Yep. Well, I guess what I could say is I've always been a really competitive gamer. I kind of strayed away from the casual playing scene, and I was always a Call of Duty player, I guess, and that was always a pretty competitive scene. And then video games kind of started getting boring for me. So what I wanted to do is go back and revisit all my old favorite SNES games, and which one of them obviously was Super Metroid. I seen some of the runs done by Garrison back in the day when he had the world record, and it intrigued me. It looked really fun, and like I said, it looked competitive in a way. And basically, I just started playing the game from scratch. It's been years since I played it, but I started playing it again. I realized it was fun. I had a lot of it basically rebirthed the game for me and gaming, and that's kind of how I started getting into speedrunning.
That's an answer I hear echoed from a lot of people. Most people I talk to say like AGDQ and especially Super Metroid runners. Most of the runners I talk to started watching Garrison, which is kind of
Yeah, yeah,
interesting because he's been he was the one that really started it all, at least on this side of the planet.
yeah. Definitely, he was. Yeah.
So was that kind of how you picked what you were going to run? Was just really some of your favorites from back then? Because I know you run Super Metroids and the X series of Mega Man and a few other things.
Yeah, definitely Super Metroid has been my favorite game of all time. I guess you could say it's been a game that I've always went back to as a kid. I remember just great memories of just playing the game for hours and hours, trying to find all the items as a kid, and it was a great game. And I still enjoy it today, like I did back then. So, and of course the X games as well. I played those as a kid, but not quite as much as this game. So this is definitely the most the special game to me, I guess you could say.
It does seem that a lot of Super Metroid runners kind of segue into the X series that I've noticed
Yeah.
since I started speeding. I mean, I've done it myself. You do it. I know Ivan did it quite a bit.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of the people that we watch, I know even Sweetnum even messed around with X for a little bit. Not
Yeah, a
as
little
much as I
bit.
thought he would, but
Yep. I don't know. Like what for me, I played the game for I think it was a year and a half straight, and the grind gets pretty real once you start getting your times down, and it got very frustrating because that of course that was the old 80% route days, and grinding that out constantly gets very tiring. And so I just wanted to try something new. It was fresh, and I enjoyed Mega Man when it was happening, but now, of course, I'm back into Super Metroid. So,
that's the next thing. We find a lot of people that kind of abandon the game getting back into it, which brings, I guess, one of the interesting questions I want to ask your opinion on. When the new route was unleashed upon the world, as you could say, did that just kind of reinvigorate everything you wanted to do? Like, wow, that looks challenging. I should really try that.
yeah, it did actually. When someone told me that, oh, there's a new world record. I think it was I was actually playing Mega Man X right after I got done streaming. I checked it out, and I was like, wow. I mean, that's awesome. I think I instantly went into just trying it, like turning on Super Metroid and trying it again, and playing it again, and it really intrigued me because obviously it was a new route, it was new gameplay, it was new strategies, and it looked like something that I wanted to get back into and try optimizing myself. So
Let me ask you this. I have my own opinion on this subject. Do you feel that that world record run was released specifically after Zost got his 28? Or do you really think that was done that day and posted that day?
I've thought about this. Yes. I really don't know if that was Behemoth's idea with it, but I mean, that would be quite the coincidence if it was. In respect to him, if it was, because he obviously knows that Zeus is, one of the best runners of this game, and maybe he was just trying to give him some time. I don't know. It's
I
could be,
just
but maybe
kind of
not.
saw a lot of people I talked to felt like that run it came way too fast after that for
It did, yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with like The King of Kong was a movie about like the Donkey Kong world record
Oh
where
no, I'm not
that same
familiar.
type of thing happened. It was a like an unbeatable record. Then somebody beat it, and 2 days
Hmm.
after he beat it, a new tape of an even better run showed up that
Oh, okay.
apparently had been done for a couple years, but just been held on to for the right
Yeah.
reasons. But Behemoth since beat that record since then anyway. I mean, that's we're not still on that original run, but you yourself are a world record holder. For those of you that aren't familiar with how Super Metroid works, the first section of the game, about the first 2 minutes of the run, is the serious escape, where the game basically gives you 1 minute to get out of the ship that you're on or the planet's going to explode, and that's what starts the game. Oats and Goats here is the current world record holder for that, with the only known 47 flat ever to be accomplished by a human.
Yeah. um, well, I don't know. I feel kind of like it could be a silly world record to have held, and especially for such a long time like I've had. But it is pretty cool. I feel, I don't know, I don't want to say honored, but it's neat to have the only 47 and to be able to have achieved that. And like I said, it's a fun, it's a competitive. Of course, everyone needs to play series, and it's always a fun like time trial to try getting off. And yeah, I'm just glad to have gotten that. So
Well, I know I've watched hundreds of different games speedrun, and I don't think I've ever seen another game where you could tune into a runner's stream and they're literally just streaming the first 2 minutes of the game over and over and over again for hours. And that's not just you. I've seen Ivan do that before. Cot, Gary, Zost even has done that from time to time. It's so interesting to see that that's that contested.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, though, it can be considered competitive since it has to be played on almost every category other than a few. But yeah, it's like I said, it's competitive and it's kind of fun. It's challenging.
So moving on from that, I've been watching you for quite a while. I mean, even since you were, a smaller streamer just kind of starting up, and you've really been experiencing some rapid growth as of the last, 3 or 4 months. And what do you attribute that to? Just, more streaming, better times? Where do you think?
I wouldn't say better time because I feel like my timing is pretty sporadic when I stream, and I wish it wasn't as sporadic because, of course, I have the regulars, and I know sometimes I can be pretty tough, but other than that, I think it's just I've been streaming a lot, regardless of times, and I've been I've been into it, and I've been really trying to achieve my goal, and I think the viewers see that as well, and I think they want to be a part of that as well. And because I do have a lot of goals in this game, and I want to keep grinding them down. And I guess for the rapid growth, I could also thank a lot of the other streamers, like SM streamers, even Mega Man streamers, because that's kind of how when it started growing as well at the end of my Mega Man streaming. And so, yeah, I could contribute to a lot of people hosting and rating, just being support. So, yeah.
Well, you deserve it, man. You're an awesome streamer. You're, one of the nicer guys out there. I always mention this whenever I talk to somebody that's, a higher up, higher than we are. But it seems that it's a very popular path to take for when people get a lot bigger to kind of turn into the more of the elitist attitude, like they kind of forget how they got there. And
Yeah.
luckily, I don't really see that from you. I mean, quadrupled your numbers in a matter of months, but you can still go in your stream with 80 plus viewers, and you notice everybody that comes in. You talk to everybody, and you're generally not in a bad mood, I guess would be the right way to say it.
Yep. I just like to interact with my chat, and I that's kind of part of the reason why I stream in the first place is because of my chat. Like when I first started watching streams, it wasn't too welcoming to go into a stream and have to be ignored. Like everyone wants to be recognized when they come into a stream, and I do it still to this day. Like when I come into a stream, it's nice. It's say hi, and then the streamer say hi back, ask you how you're doing, and I love to ask my chatters that as well. I love to have them be recognized and to feel special when they come into the stream, and yeah, it's just kind of like etiquette. It's just what you do as a streamer. It's why you're streaming. You stream to entertain people and to make people feel happy and welcome. So, yeah.
That's a really good way to put it. So, kind of combining off of the rapid growth and everything, what a lot of Twitch streamers aspire to be is a Twitch partner. Is that something that you're planning on going after? Have you already started going after that?
Kind of when I hit around 1,000, a lot of people were like, "Oh, oats for partner," and they would just always spam that. It was just kind of funny since I think I was experiencing rapid growth around then, and people noticed that, and they were just kind of joking around. I did put in one, obviously with only, I think I had 12 at the time. They're not going to accept that, but in the future, I do plan on, yes, trying to get partner, and I think it'll just add to the growth and add to the excitement of streaming as well. Not like it's not exciting, but it will kind of add a new element to my streaming. So, yeah.
Well, definitely, because it does open you up for a lot more things. You can do, subscriber-only benefits, all that kind of stuff, and it really gives people a chance to show that they do care about what you're doing, and more of a direct impact on your life.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't want to also exclude even like non-subscribers from subscribers, like you said, like subscriber-only benefits. But it will be definitely something that's, like you said, people can show their support even more. It'll support me in what I do because I do plan on doing this for quite some time, and yeah, it'll be awesome.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, I mean, that's really all the questions I had. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add? Any shout outs, anything like that?
Shout outs. Like I said, just probably shout outs to the whole Super Metroid community because I've been getting a lot of support lately from them, such as like Ivan, Cop Power Zost. And yeah, those guys are awesome. They support me a lot. They support me a lot with hosts, streams, and just being generally friends and awesome. So I guess shout outs to those guys, and that's probably about all I have.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty much it, people. If you want to catch Oats, he will be at twitch.tv/oatsngoats, and he streams really on mostly a nightly basis. Sometimes he's pretty sporadic, like he says, but throw him a follow and you'll catch him. And he's an awesome runner to watch. I think you'll have a lot of fun watching him do not only Serious Escape but just the game in general. I guess one more question:
Okay.
who do you see that holding the world record in another 6 months?
Um, there's a couple people probably. I guess either Sweetnum, Cop Power, or Zost. I think any of those guys, if they really pick it up, will probably have the world record. So
That's the answer I normally get. Just checking on that. Well, this was the Gold Split. This is our guest, Oats and Goats, and just wanted to say thank you on behalf of Lzuruha for taking some time out to talk to us. And you guys can catch this. You're obviously watching this on YouTube. Throw us a like, throw us a comment on there if you know anybody else that you think we want to see interviewed. And we'll talk to you guys later.